Every single one of us has had to deal with the difficult task of making hard decisions. It's an important part of life, and we never know whether we'll get it right or wrong. But what happens when we make the wrong choice? In this story, we follow someone who found themselves in this exact situation, but this isn't just any ordinary story of regret and redemption. You'll be on the edge of your seat as this story is about to take a bizarre turn. Are you ready to learn what happens? Prepare for a journey into the unknown. In January 2017, William Hargrove, who was 26, nervously paced in his messy bedroom as he prepared to propose to a woman he had only known for a few weeks before she headed back to Russia. Despite the unsuitable location and his anxiety, Will was determined to take this chance. However, Will chickened out and kept pacing instead of asking her. Will's life was dull and lonely. He worked as a mechanic and lived in a small one-room apartment rented from a married couple who owned the house in a small Oregon city. Will had no friends and lacked any significant hobbies. He had a strong passion for science fiction and fantasy, devoting long hours to watching movies about space, magic, and distant planets. After watching, he would often venture into the forest to daydream about becoming the hero from those movies, envisioning himself as a savior of the world, either as a sorcerer or a brilliant scientist. Despite his love for daydreaming, Will desired a wife and children. He joined an international dating website and connected with Anna Repkina, a 26-year-old woman from Russia who was currently sitting behind him on the bed. If only Will gathered the courage to propose to her, he believed Anna would say yes, and he could finally begin his life with her. Anna, with her blonde hair and striking blue eyes, shared Will's tendency to dream and imagine. She firmly believed that there was a soulmate out there for everyone, but so far, she had not found hers. She had experienced one painful breakup after another, but when Will, a short, stocky man with a bushy goatee, reached out to her on an international dating website and invited her to America to visit him, she felt it was their destiny to be together. In her mind, Will had to be her soulmate. Will, who had been pacing, finally turned to face Anna, who was reading a book on the bed. He took a deep breath and pulled out a jewelry box from his pocket, revealing a beautiful emerald ring on a white gold band. Will dropped down to one knee, held out the box, and opened it. Anna was confused at first, but when she saw the ring, she realized what was happening. Will slipped the ring onto Anna's finger and asked her to marry him. Overwhelmed with excitement, Anna cried tears of happiness and said yes. Later that day, Anna departed for Russia but wasted no time making arrangements to move permanently to Oregon to be with Will. By March 2017, she landed in Oregon and was finally reunited with him at the airport. However, when they arrived at Will's apartment, they were greeted by Michelle Chavis, the married couple who rented the bedroom apartment to Will. Michelle was not pleased to see Anna, and dragged Will to the back of the house to talk. Anna was confused by the situation and took her suitcases to Will's bedroom, where she waited for Will to explain what had happened. Will revealed that Michelle had a crush on him and became jealous when she saw Anna moving in with Will, resulting in them having to move out. Anna was upset, but eventually understood the situation and saw it as an opportunity to start fresh with Will in a new place. They found a new place to live and were excited to plan their future together. A few weeks had passed since Anna and Will had moved out of Michelle's place and found a new home in a neighboring town. It was now March 25th, 2017, and Anna woke up early to put on the beautiful white wedding dress that she got from Russia. She and Will then got into his car and drove to the beach where they had planned to have a simplistic outdoor wedding ceremony. An officiant was supposed to be there to legally conduct the wedding, but when they arrived at the beach, Will couldn't find the officiant. While he stayed back to call the officiant, Anna hopped out of the car and walked towards the water, eager to start the ceremony. Anna enjoyed the beach scenery, realizing her good fortune despite recent uncertainty about her wedding. She and Will cut off contact with Michelle, who continued to send threatening messages, demanding Anna share Will with her. Anna worried about Michelle ruining the wedding, but she was nowhere to be seen at the beach. Anna spotted their two friends farther down the beach and ran over to hug them. As they chatted, Anna noticed Will walking towards them on his phone looking upset and announced that the wedding was off due to the missing officiant. Anna tried to stay positive and suggested they find another one, but the mood was dampened as they walked back to their car. They stopped at a McDonald's and ended up laughing about eating fast food in their wedding clothes. Anna was trying to reschedule the wedding, but felt frustrated with Will's lack of help. He spent his time smoking and talking on the phone outside, which Anna suspected was related to Michelle. When she asked about it, he always avoided the subject or went silent. After 3 weeks of trying to reschedule their wedding, Will asked Anna to go for a walk in the woods on April 16th to talk about something important. Anna knew it had to be serious, possibly related to Michelle, as Will loved daydreaming in those woods. They walked silently for a while, until Will stopped and told Anna that he felt they rushed into their relationship and wanted to call off the engagement. Anna was heartbroken and couldn't respond, so she stormed off into the woods out of Will's sight. The next morning, Will immediately grabbed his phone to text Anna, but she didn't respond. He regretted his decision to call off the engagement and desperately sent Anna a series of text messages, but she still didn't reply. He believed that he needed to do something big to win Anna back, so he paced and chain-smoked outside, brainstorming ideas. Eventually, he decided to build a time machine, inspired by his favorite science fiction and fantasy movies. Will spent 24 to 48 hours drawing sketches and searching for information online, but he realized that he lacked the resources and expertise to build a real time machine. Will put his daydreaming to good use, as he thought that a magical spell would allow him to travel back in time to get Anna back, just like in the movies. He communicated with strangers on the internet and chanted various spells, but nothing worked. No wonder why. After staying awake for 72 hours, Will finally gave up on his quest to go back in time and win Anna back. On the morning of April 19th, Will woke up to the sound of a knock on his front door. As he opened the door, he was met with the sight of 2 police officers standing on his doorstep. They informed Will that they required his assistance, requesting him to accompany them to the police station for questioning. Despite being drained and sleep-deprived for the past 3 days, Will agreed to cooperate. Upon reaching the station, he was led into a cramped interrogation room and asked to take a seat behind a cold metal desk opposite the 2 officers. Will braced himself for the worst as he asked the officers what they needed from him. To his confusion, they inquired whether he had recently dined at a KFC. Will was taken aback and almost chuckled at the question, but the officers' serious expressions made it clear that this was no laughing matter. Will confirmed that he had indeed eaten at KFC a few days prior. Understanding the relationship between Will and Michelle is crucial to realizing why the question is significant. Michelle's infatuation with Will was not just a simple crush, but a passionate affair that had been going on since 2015 with Michelle's husband in the house. Will wanted Michelle to leave her husband and be with him, but Michelle couldn't do it at that moment. To show Will that she was serious about being with him in the future, she gave him her wedding ring as a promise token. However, as time passed, Michelle did not want to leave her husband, which made Will concerned that he was wasting his time. He desired a wife and children, and it seemed like Michelle was not going to give him either, and that's why he went on a dating site and met Anna, who also wanted a family, and proposed to her with Michelle's ring. Michelle saw Anna wearing the ring in a Facebook post, which made her angry, and she kicked both Will and Anna out of the house after fighting with Will when they showed up to move in. Michelle still couldn't let go of her jealousy towards Anna and her love for Will. She began sending Anna threatening messages on Facebook to leave Will, while also frantically calling and texting Will to choose her over Anna. When Anna saw Will outside chain smoking and talking on the phone, she suspected he was talking to Michelle, and rightly so. Will was under immense pressure, but he couldn't make up his mind about which woman he wanted to be with. He lied to Anna about hiring an officiant for their beach wedding to buy himself some time, but he eventually decided he wanted to be with Michelle. So, on April 16th, Will broke off the engagement with Anna, and she stormed off into the woods. Will watched her disappear before walking back to his car to get something from the trunk. He returned to the woods, found Anna's spot, and walked off in the direction she had wandered, and there she was, unaware of what was about to happen. The atmosphere was tense as she stood alone in the clearing, lost in thought and oblivious to the approaching danger. Will moved quietly towards her, the shotgun already in hand. In a swift motion, he pressed the barrel against the back of Anna's skull, giving her no chance to react before he pulled the trigger. With the deed done, he fled back down the trail to his car. After hastily gathering all of Anna's belongings and some trash from the car floor, he returned to the scene of the crime, carelessly dumping everything around and on top of her lifeless body. The next day, a passerby and their dog stumbled upon the gruesome scene. As the police sifted through the scattered mess, a crumpled KFC bag caught their attention. Inside, they found a receipt for the day of the murder, linking it directly to Will. The morning after the murder, Will tried to cover his tracks by sending text messages to Anna. But deep down, he regretted his decision and wanted to turn back time. He wanted Anna back, not Michelle. So he devised a plan to undo his terrible mistake, just like the heroes in his favorite movies. But real life is not a movie, and he couldn't change what had already happened. And 3 years after Anna's murder, Will was sentenced to life in prison. Michelle, on the other hand, never faced any charges. The story of Anna, Will, and Michelle is a sad reminder of the consequences of impulsive decisions and putting trust in others too quickly. If Anna had been more cautious and hesitant to trust Will, her fate might have taken a different turn.